Step one for binding. Prep your fabric. With a starch or starch alternative like Best Press, Terra, or Niagara, whatever. But don't get going on raw fabric. What you need to do. You're not going to be successful if your corners are not square on your quilt. This is a little baby quilt. Well, not really, but it's a. Put your ruler in your corners, because that you are not going to have great results no matter what technique you use if you have a wonky corner. So the most popular way, I think, I might be wrong, is that to join your strips, you put right sides together, you overlap them a little bit like this, you take them to your sewing machine, and you sew corner to corner. Now, people who have done this forever and ever don't even draw a line or anything. If you have a luminaire, you have a little guide on there.
I don't think you want to sew in that direction, those two corners.
Thank you.
That wouldn't end well.
I think it's reverse on the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll look right
Corner
at
to
home.
corner. Yes, corner this way, corner to corner. Some people will actually take a marker and they'll actually draw. They'll draw the line. Most people, I think, that use this technique don't draw lines. They just do it. I hate this, hate this, hate this. I don't think it's ever come out right the first time. And when I say come out right, I mean when I flip it over. Well, listen to my samples. What happens is, all the time with me, all the time, it looks like this. Like one is higher than the other, so it's not even on the edges. It isn't even here, and it isn't even here. And if you're like me, you go, I'm so tired of this. I don't care. And other people say, well, that's good enough. And so I end up doing the Brent. I go from this edge to that edge, and I say, can I make that even? Look even? Yeah, I can. Okay, onward I go. Okay, so that's probably the old-fashioned way. I hate it. I don't get the results I want, so it's not good. Now there's another tool. This is one of Danny's preferred methods, and I kind of like it. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's using Creative Grid's folder corner clipper. This tool is cool because
The cool tool?
it isn't just for binding. You can use it for snowball blocks. You can use it for square and squares. You can use it for half square triangles. Anytime you got to do some clipping, this comes in handy.
And that's and the easy angle is basically the same tool.
Right, cool. Now, how do I cut that? Once they're cut, I'm going to show you how to cut it. But after it's cut, you'll see I have two pieces. So when I go to line them up, see how perfect you can line them up? So anyway, see right here? It helps line it up. I got pretty good results with this. I don't know. How do I cut with a clipper? It's kind of cool. You're going to put right sides both up. Both facing up, and you are going to line them up like this. And then you're going to take this nifty little ruler, and my strips are 2 1/4. If yours were 2 1/2, you would line up with the 2 1/2. My strips are 2 1/4, so I'm using the 2 1/4 mark on here. And what I've got is I've got this lined up here, this lined up there, and then I'm going to just take my pretty sparkly cutter and cut it. This is trash, and here's my perfectly aligned guys ready to sew together. So this will handle many sizes of binding. That's why I like that. Okay? My preferred method always comes out right. But you do what you want. I like using glue. What kind of glue, you say? Elmer's washable glue. But I don't use it in the bottle like this.
Is that the glue you can eat as a child?
You can, and you know what? Okay, I'm going to run out of time if I tell this story. Oh, I'm already out of time. I told you this was going to be a big show. This glue, my dad used to get so mad at me as a kid because he'd buy the wood glue version of this, but it does the same thing.
But does it taste better?
No, what I would do is I put it in my hands and cover my hands and let it dry. Oh, see, somebody, you've done this too.
Yes.
And then it would be like you could peel it off like a glove and you
Yep.
try to see how big a piece you could get off your hands. And then they go to use it for something. Who took the glue? I loved peeling it off my hands.
And what happened?
But I find this nozzle too big because you need so little glue. So I put this inside here. And I tend to add a little water to this bottle before and then shake it up. So it isn't 100%.
My mama used to do that with ketchup.
Yeah, I don't know why. I do that so it comes out of this teeny tiny tip easier. That's the only reason I do that. Now, granted, there are other glues out there you can use. There's a Roxanne's basting glue, and there's, there's plenty of basting glues. Acorn Precision has a glue out there, but I like that I can just go buy this really cheesy, washable, it has to be washable, Elmer School glue, because I use it for so many things, and it's really starch. All it is starch. So it's not going to hurt your fabric, and it washes out afterwards. You take this piece, we simply turn this corner, it's upside down now, and face down. I'm turning this corner with my fingers. I'm just turning over what normally would be the miter, right? Now, you can also run the iron. I've turned the iron on, but I don't have my ironing pad here yet. And you know I love this thing. So this comes in handy too. So now I have this dog-eared in, right? Everybody do this to one piece of the fabric, not both. Now I'm going to take this other piece. See? I want you to make sure you see. Look, isn't that pretty? That's what it's going to look like when it's done. So I'm going to take these two pieces like this. Irons on, yep. And I'm going to put just a little dab of glue right. This is going to be hard to see. I'll try to get out of the way. Right along, and I mean little. Like this is too much. That's too much. Little, 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 little. Right down there. I like these because they have little covers. And they're cheap, so if you forget to cover it. Oh, here's a tip. Did you know no matter what glue bottle you use, especially Roxanne's, I don't know about you, but I pay a lot of money for that cute little bottle, and then it gets gunked up. And once it's gunked up, there's no cleaning it up. Did you know, set it like this a couple times and poof, poof, poof. And what's happening is the glue, the air is replacing the glue in the nozzle. And then when I put it away, there's no glue in that nozzle. Yeah, did you catch that? Poof.
Okay, let me
See,
get
now I can feel nothing but air. There's no glue in that nozzle. It's all air. Now I'm just going to line these two puppies out.
You gotta.
I need to get my ironing pad first, because I do want it as an iron. It is important that you heat set your glue, because if you don't, it's not going to stay together, and it's going to mess up your machine. So I'm just overlapping, but see what I'm doing? I'm going, this is perfect. This is perfect. This is just what I want. Now I got lots of glue. What's happening is I'm not just going to do one strip. I'm going to glue all my strips. I'm going to glue all of them, the whole thing all at once.
When you have that big piece that overlaps.
No, I'm not done.
Okay.
You can make it as tiny as you want. I spilled glue, so fix it. Okay, so now,
I'm being good.
I was waiting for it.
so see,
Don't get me started.
no pins now. And when I go to the machine, I'm going to sew right in this fold line. And when I'm done, it's going to line up perfect. And I'm going to join all my strips this way before I go to my sewing machine. So that's how I'm going to join them. I'm just coming right down where and I've got really dark thread so you guys can see it. I'm coming right down that fold line. So I didn't have to draw a line or anything. And here I go. Up my street.
So are you sewing? You're sewing in the actual fold line.
Yeah, in the fold line.
You're not offsetting.
And
one
I
side or the
didn't
other.
sew it very straight now that I look at it. I didn't sew it very straight. The first thing I do before I trim it is I pop it. Do you hear that pop? That's what's good about the Elmer's glue, is you just pop it and your seam opens right out. Isn't that cool? And I have to give credit to where I got this technique, and it literally is a person named Sharon Schamberg. She does intricate work. I'll just show you how intricate this stuff is. It's over there. And this is all digitized, and she wins awards. So, okay, so that's what I call the glue method. Now let's see what happens when we use the corner clipper method for joining. I didn't know I was going to phone out a join, but you got to find what works for yours. I've got it already pinned. Now on this one, we're going to do this one after because this is going to require. No, I can just move my nail. Normally I would do this with a 1/4-inch foot, but I can move my. I have a open toe foot on, and I have a wide face plate. It's not a single hole face plate, so I can move my needle over. I would not do it with my fingers like that. That would just nuts. Okay, so this is using the clipper corner. This is one of Danny's favorite, right, Danny? So we're gonna press this open. If you're like Brent, you don't have to press them open.
I press open. I will press open bindings.
It's easier when you go to put it on to press open. I
Yes.
got really good results with that clipper corner, Danny. A little off, but that could be me. But very good results with the Creative Grids clipper corner. I like that. Now let's try. I hope I do this. Brenda likes to overlap hers, but I think Kate was saying don't overlap it and you're going to get better results. So
The reason I overlap is because you can see the corner.
The corner.
The corners.
oh,
both
that's
corners.
a good point.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
can see where you start, and you can see where you're ending,
Yeah.
what you're aiming for.
because you don't draw a line.
I don't draw lines.
So Brenda's
See,
saying,
Brenda comes from my school of sewing.
Brenda, let me repeat that because somebody may not. Brenda likes to overlap them so you can see the starting corner and the ending corner because she doesn't draw a line. So that's why she likes the overlap method. And if you have this machine, you can drop your laser guide and go corner to corner and just sew along your laser guide. But I'm pretending I don't have a laser guide. So
Yeah, but
now,
They're only 2.5 inches.
no, 2 1/4 for me.
Well, 2 1/4, so that's
Yeah.
even
So
shorter.
Brenda can whip it out.
It's
Okay.
all within half an inch. It
But
doesn't matter.
Becky cannot. I cannot, and I don't think most of our folks can either.
I can't do it. I need
I
my laser.
cannot. But actually, I think I got the results this time. So let's see.
Did you mark it?
I did. I drew a line,
Okay. See, I would have too.
but I drew it in the wrong direction. Okay, this is what you don't do.
This is
Okay,
the most entertaining
and we even
thing.
talked about this. What's the matter with me? You don't sew it. That's why I don't like this method. This happens to me all the time. I can remember in Quilt Retreat, I did a whole string of these this way, and then I went,
That's why I like the clipper.
I'm like, okay, so this is, all right. So people, I don't like this method. And I've just told you why, for many reasons, but this is probably number one. And Kate even was nice enough to warn me, the other corner. And I still put it together backwards. And so, okay, yeah. All right, so now I'm getting the seam ripper out. And
That
That
wonderful
one you
seam
drew.
ripper that you threw over your shoulder.
you know what I think of this method? Because I do it backwards all the time. Okay, I'm not going to do it backwards this time. And I'm not going to draw lines either.
You're just gonna throw it on there
I'm
and
going
go.
to throw it on because Brenda, you would just throw it on, wouldn't you?
I would. Yes. But you have to sew on the right side. And I did.
But you can see now,
Well,
if you had it overlapped, you can
I
see now.
am this time.
You can see that if it was overlapped, you get a much better idea where the corners are at.
Well, yes, because I can't see that
Yeah.
corner now. But, so let's overlap it. Because we already saw how Becky sews things backwards. All right. So this is why I hate this method. Okay? I have to have my brain on. Oh yeah, not good. I already see it happening. It's not pretty. Okay, there it is. Actually, all in all, Brenda and Brent, would you call this a successful sew corner to corner?
What's
From
that?
up
I can't
far.
see. Yeah. To open it up.
Well, I'm going to in a minute,
Oh.
boss.
Okay.
All right. Let's look at it. Well, you know, Brenda, you would probably be happy with this.
Would you?
No.
The thing. All
There's
right.
so much about binding. It's crazy. I spent hours, in probably 40 hours on binding videos.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And we just contributed.
And
to that
I just
mess.
boiled down to 3 methods of joining corners that I think are doable. I do like this, which surprises me.